Careless with Cash, the Empire.
And welcome back, episode 6 of World Soccer Daily, an Art Soccer Collective original. I'm your host, Kurtis here with Wendell. Wendell, how you doing?
And feeling like Diego Pavia right now after that Newcastle loss yesterday.
So no Heisman. Close but no Heisman?
Close but no Heisman. Not close really, but you know.
As close as one could be in their mind.
Right.
We got a great episode for you guys today. We're going to talk about some of the happenings in all three leagues, actually, the EPL, Serie A, and La Liga. We're going to start off with Tottenham versus Nottingham Forest. Great game for me, but I want to hit a couple takes on that. I want to hit a couple aspects of it for me. Number one, Callum Hudson-Odoi with his 2 goals. I want to talk about that for sure. Not just because he's a Chelsea guy, but because he's playing well, and we're gonna have to talk about him going somewhere else eventually because he has been in great form. But Tottenham, I thought at one point when not to say when Harry Kane left, the team got better, but I felt like when Harry Kane originally left, the team felt like they were playing more conducively as a whole, as a unit, and moving the ball better. Obviously, Heung-min Son was there at that point, so there's a clear difference in the talent they had then and the talent they have now. But with that being said, they also have Xabi Simons, who I think is a player who's very underrated in his own right. But 3-0 to Nottingham Forest is just, I didn't see that coming. Where were you on this game?
I also did not see that coming, especially I feel like Tottenham had been improving their form as of late. Yeah. So yeah, to 3-0 to Nottingham Forest is kind of crazy.
Yeah, and I mean, and again, like it's one of those where is this team going at this point? Because they currently sit at 11 in the EPL right now, and I'm just kind of like, I had higher expectations. I saw them as a top 8 team this year, like at least a Europa League, budding for a Champions League spot. But right now, who knows?
Yeah, I mean it's definitely still early, but you know, I would say more credit to Nottingham Forest for they look like a team that's in the top 4 yesterday. I was like, who is this team? What did they?
Yeah, and sitting at 16 to perform like that is amazing.
Yeah.
I not just on the Hudson-Odoi goal, but the ball movement was just kind of like it was more than what I would expect from a Nottingham Forest team in general. I mean, I really don't know what else to make of this, but just like, wow, like how did you pulled it off? But I mean, what's to be made of what they do from here? I mean, they're still very much in the threat to be relegated, but I mean, they have a little bit of space between them and that spot with West Ham. So who knows? But I don't know how you.
Yeah, it seemed like they found some swag yesterday because after that first goal went in, it was a good high pressing, get the ball back, get a goal, and then that second Callum Hudson-Odoi goal. What?
That was a little bit of luck.
I mean, hey, all shots contain a little bit of luck, you know what I mean? And then after that goal, you could see like they found something. It was like they got told at halftime like bonus checks were coming because they were shooting from 20-25 yards away, and a lot of them were very close or on target. It seemed like they at halftime they were like, "Hey yo, the money coming if y'all take shots." Like, all right, that's what it seemed like.
And you got to give it to some because with that being said, you got to give it to a lot of the guys on the team are playing harder because they have the African Cup of Nations coming up. Like Sangre, he had that final goal for the team, but you could tell it's like he's gearing himself up for a tournament that he's getting ready to play, and maybe that has some sort of consideration to how they played as a team. But hey, hats off to them.
Yeah, and real quick back to your Xabi Simons. Yeah, he I do think he as a player he is underrated. But he hasn't been performing well enough for us to call him underrated, if that makes sense.
Do you think it's the fact that he's on this team in London and it's just not something he's used to? Because I thought for sure when he went to Tottenham, I was like, okay, this is a turning point for him. This is going to be where he becomes like the star player, or he kind of has his like coming out party. He's like, okay, this is a guy we can put a team around and build around. But I don't really see that right now. He just seems like another player on Tottenham's roster, as opposed to that seat filler that I thought he would be.
Yeah, I mean, I do agree with that. it's hard for anybody under the age of like 23 to come to just straight come to a team and like be the star, right? Especially changing countries.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's necessarily his fault because they haven't really put the team around him to be super successful. But I do think he does have a part to play in how well they're not playing right now.
Well, here's my thing. I'm gonna give a little pushback to that because from my angle, I feel like he's a good enough player to where that team in itself was enough for him to show who he was. Maybe I was wrong on that, and maybe I'm just basing that off of the fact that he is a Barcelona prodigy, or he is a youth academy prodigy that played for all these great clubs, and you just expect that type of talent right out the gates. But you gotta, maybe I'm not taking into consideration the fact that while he was coming from Barcelona, while he's played for PSG, and while he's played for all these clubs, he was playing behind great players and players he couldn't compare it to. So maybe that's a little bit of it for me. But I still was at this point, I kind of hope that he would be doing a little bit more than what he is for the team, especially losing 3-0 to Tottenham. Losing 3-0 to Forest. Nah.
Agreed.
I want better for him. I want better for Tottenham. Honestly, as someone, it's weird to say this as someone who's a Chelsea fan, but I always kind of like watching Tottenham from afar and seeing how they perform. And right now, it just seems like there's nothing happening right now, and they need some sort of like spark. Maybe it's a new manager. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. Yep.
Yeah. But all right, let's move on to your worst day ever and your times of heartbreak. I'm gonna let you take the reins on this and just walk me through what happened with Sunderland and Newcastle.
All right. Pop your rant coming through.
Okay.
From the beginning, we seem like we Newcastle. There's a lot of hype leading up to the game, right? Obviously, derbies are huge games. This is the first one, I think, in the Premier League in 10 years, I think. So high stakes. Sunderland's been feeling themselves. I can't lie. They've been feeling themselves. They've been
playing
winning
excellent
games. Yeah. So they're definitely going to stay up. They're definitely not getting relegated again. So credit to them and, their front office for putting the team together that they put together. That being said, Newcastle played down. It was rough in the beginning. We kind of, fell behind, possession wise, and kind of picked it up a little bit. But this team, I don't know if it's a mentality thing with Newcastle, or I know they're not lazy.
Yeah.
But we don't high press as much as we used to. I don't know if that went into the game plan. We kind of sat back, and now we're waiting for, the counterattack. But our counterattack doesn't work because our wingers suck. And when the wingers suck, it makes everything, like, if you block them off, we have nothing else.
So what do you think is missing then from the team to like get the success coming? We'll get into the results of the game, but it's just what does Newcastle need? Because this is another situation similar to Tottenham where, in my opinion, I thought this team would be again Champions League every year at this point. I thought the new ownership stake would have. I thought their presence would have kicked in at this point, and we would be talking about these guys basically replacing Manchester United within that top four of the league. But right now, you're scoring an own goal against Sunderland. It just doesn't look good for you. What do you think is the next step for you guys to get past mistakes like this? Because granted, it's a rivalry game. It should be one of those games that you guys should be handling with ease. This is Sunderland. They just came back from the lower division. What happened?
I think two things. We need, which I never thought I would say, not never thought I would say, but I didn't realize until yesterday that Joelinton being out injured, when he is not on the field, it hurts our team. And because he's good defensively, he's good offensively. He does lose the ball a lot. So that's why I have a hard time, but like, you can clearly tell that when he's missing in our midfield three, we struggle. We struggle on both sides, defensively and offensively. That being said, the one position I think that we're missing is a creative 10 to sit behind Voltemata. a creative pacey 10 because Baltimore got like a 73 pace. So, but I mean, being 6'6", you usually do have a 73 pace.
Mm-hmm.
But like, yeah, because we have zero creativity going forward.
So you don't think Tonali can be that guy for you, or Joe Linton? I'm sorry.
I think Jolinton can. Bruno tries, but Bruno Guimaraes has no help because Tonali sits behind them.
Mm-hmm.
So I do think Jolinton can. Lewis Miley, he's 19 years old now. He's trying. He's coming in. I think he's playing well.
Okay.
He's just not playing the way that I think the team needs, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, for me, I don't think I think the issue, I really do think the issue is just a winger's issue. I think Anthony Elanga hasn't done enough. I've said that to you. And we've had conversations before off pod where I've said, I don't think you guys have anything to worry about with Isak leaving for Liverpool because Anthony Elanga is a great striker, a great winger, a great everything on that attacking third. I haven't really seen much of that.
One assist this year.
One assist.
Yeah. That's it.
One so far. All those training videos and one assist.
You know what I mean?
Bruno Guimaraes is another player. I think he needs to be a little bit more. I think I need to see his presence more on the field. I think he needs to be more the guy that's running the show. I don't think he can really do that from where I think he needs to sit in that center attacking mid position and run the show from there. But I mean, they kind of have him off to the side, and I don't know. I'm not a Newcastle fan. I'm just kind of looking at it from an outside perspective and I'm just feeling like losing an own goal to Sunderland isn't the way. Maybe you put Bruno in the center attacking mid, do something, switch this up so we figure something out. But I really don't know. This is another. It's weird. I feel like I'm having the same conversation twice for two different games. It's like another team that I thought would be playing better is just not playing better for some reason. Man.
Yeah.
Who knows what's going to happen? Maybe you guys need Michael Owen to come back and coach the team. I don't think the coach. I think that's the thing you need to do.
I can't say it's not the coach because like he's the one getting the team prepared for games, right? So for sure. We've won one away game this year.
Mm-hmm.
That's terrible. That's so bad. You know what I mean? So like, if you can't finish top 6, top 7 if you don't win away games. And I don't know what it is, but when we step outside of St. James's Park, you can almost bet that Newcastle will lose. It's that consistent.
Yeah.
Now, that's not betting advice for all the people out there. That is in no way betting soliciting betting advice.
Do not cover us. Do not come with the pitchforks. We did not say. But what do you think Newcastle goes from here though? Do you think they bounce back from this? Do you think because right now it's where do you go?
Yeah, I do think that most of the time we are a second half of the season team.
Mm-hmm.
At least we have been in recent years. So I think that we still get United again. We have to play Chelsea. We play Chelsea next week or something like that? Or
next week I think.
Yeah,
next week.
And then you got your usual West Ham games, your Evertons. These are games that need to be won. Minus Chelsea would be a good game.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen though.
Yeah,
like all fandom aside, I just don't see it. Like, I mean, we didn't really talk about Chelsea's game this week, but Chelsea played a lot better this week with Cole Palmer coming back and getting that goal and getting the goal, and João Pedro scored, I think, as well. It's just like they're starting to finally come back together. I think they're gonna probably make a little push for the top of the league, but I don't think much is gonna come of that. But I mean, Newcastle just needs some sort of continue. Newcastle needs.
No, you're good. You're good. Yeah, we need to spend $100 million to bring Elliot Anderson back home. Mm-hmm. He could be a very creative 10 for us, or Morgan Gibbs White. One of those two from Nottingham Forest. I think one of them need to come to Newcastle, and that would really super duper elevate that team. And give more attacking options.
That could work. As it stands, though, Arsenal's still very much at the top of the league, 36 points. City's jumped back up there at 2. Aston Villa's at 3, and Chelsea's at 4. What do you think? Where do you think this shakes up in the next couple weeks? Do you think Aston Villa stays strong in that top four, or do you think something happens and there's some shaking around and Liverpool kind of finagles its way back into successful territory?
Because of the fandom, I don't hope they stay. But I can't deny that they're playing well. Um, most of the time in the middle of the season, there's a lot of games going on, so there's not a lot of training. It's more tactical meetings, stuff like that, keeping the legs loose. So the middle of the season is always about consistency. How well can you stay consistent? So if they can do that, I think they do finish probably top 6, top 7 after Villa.
Okay. I'm not so sure myself. I do think that something has to give, and I don't see City. I see Holland is getting ready to go back on another scoring tirade.
Yep.
I see Arsenal is getting through that little rough patch where they give up points, and I think they're going to stay consistent. Chelsea, I don't know. We're still it could go either way at this point for me with them, but Villa, I don't know. It's something about Villa. I just can't see them staying at this. It's weird.
Yeah,
It's weird. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right.
I have a soft spot for Villa, and I don't know why.
It's Unai Emery, man. It's like something about his coaching that just makes you want to like see them be successful, but not me.
Right. If you need a bench player, I'm got you. I support you, coach.
All right, let's switch gears to Serie A because we don't really talk about that much. But I really want to talk about AC Milan this week. They tied Sassuolo 2-2. Not a good look for them right now. They're head to head with Inter Milan for the top of the league right now. 32 points for AC Milan, 33 for Inter. Napoli's behind with 31, but we'll see how that shakes up. It's really a good three-way race, but I do think it's between AC and Inter this year for the title, which is good for me because it feels like old times. It feels like the older days of the Del Piero, the Inzaghi days. But this tie wasn't the best thing for them. A couple of takeaways from the game for me were it feels like AC Milan is complacent. Like I think they assume that they're going to win every game handedly, and it shows in the way they play. Like I don't know if it's arrogance or or confidence, I want to say, but it just feels like every time I watch them play, it's almost as if there's not really urgency in how, like, no matter what's happening, it seems like it doesn't really register to the team as a whole when they're playing. There's no, maybe it's good for them. Maybe it's a good thing from the perspective of them. Like, but for me, it's just like, where's the intensity? I don't feel the intensity. You shouldn't be tying Sassuolo, and it just seems so nonchalant. It feels like, for a comparison, just like a bunch of Shea Gilgeous-Alexanders out there just watching the game happen, and there's just no emotional register,
emotional ties.
Yeah. What do you make of it?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think they should have tied. I think they should have won. That posted goal that got called back, I think should have counted. And they missed they didn't miss a PK. But it was another goal they scored. And I was like,
there were some close ones that got called back, but
yeah.
I do think the Christian Pulisic goal was offsides, and it's really tricky off those corner. Yeah, it's really tricky off those corner kicks and stuff. It's weird, but I do think the way the rules are laid out, he was off. But hey, you have to have. There's plenty of more time in a game to score a goal, and
that's true.
It shouldn't have just been. You can't chalk it up to those 2 or 3 missed calls, because
that's true.
They should have got a couple in the run of play. This game should have been a 3-0, 2-0 game, in my opinion.
Yeah. They. I don't know. I don't watch a lot of Milan games, so hearing that, when you say like they play kind of, for lack of a better term, kind of lackadaisical.
Yeah.
I see it. It makes sense. I was like, oh, okay, I see what you mean. Do they need to play like they have urgency is my question.
I think they do, because AC Milan for a while hasn't been. I mean, AC Milan now has finally come back to a point where they're starting to perform and be a top team in Serie A. But for a couple of years, they've been kind of irrelevant. I feel like the team needs somebody in there needs to be a flame under them or a flame at their feet to get them going. Like Christian Pulisic is playing well. I'll give him his credit. There's a lot of other guys playing well, but it's just like you got like you got to win. You got to win the league. You got to take that step and become the team that you used to be. Same thing goes for Inter Milan, but it just feels like this is why nobody really pays attention to the Serie A, because it just feels like the games are walkthroughs sometimes. It just feels like a glorified pickup game. And I mean, tying Sassuolo is just, again, to go back to the game, just not something that shouldn't happen.
Yeah,
I was sitting here 2 years ago telling people like, yeah, in a couple of years, if AC Milan plays it right, they're back as a competitive team in Europe, and we're talking about them in the Champions League. And then how great would that be for players like Christian Pulisic and Yunus Musa at the time, who are on the team, who could be on a team that's that competitive. And that's probably partial of why I want them to be so competitive, is because they have those American players, but I don't see it right now.
Yeah, I know there's like no correlation really, but it seems like the way that the Italian teams play translates to the Italian national team.
It does heavily.
Which is crazy, because like there are obviously other nationalities that play in Serie A, but like it's weird how it's like.
And to piggyback off of that,
piggyback
off that, you notice how Italy hasn't really been much in terms of a presence on the national stage. Oh. It kind of goes to that complacency. Like Italy went from winning the World Cup in 2006, or 2006, or
something like that.
Yeah, when we were kids, they won it.
Right. Yeah.
when Zidane headbutted somebody.
Right. Greatest player of all time.
But you go from that to just now scratching and clawing your way into World Cups. Like look at they're going through playoffs to get into the World Cups. That's unheard of for Italy. Back in the day, that was unheard of. So it's just one of those things where it's like you hit it right on the money. It's like it translates to it almost as if it translates to the national team. It's like something has to give. There has to be, maybe it's just life is so good in Italy, there's not a care in the world and there's no urgency. Maybe that's what it is.
I guess so. Yeah, it was 06. Yeah. Yeah, if life is like that in Italy, I'll have to move, son.
Yeah. I think we all need to move to Italy and just experience the life out there, and maybe we'll get it. Maybe we'll understand why AC Milan isn't so urgent one day.
Right? Yeah. Makes sense now.
Yeah, maybe I'll just have a little more pasta.
Right.
All right. Now let's get into La Liga with Real Madrid, and let's talk about them against Alvesis and 2-1 victory against Alvesis, and a 2-1 victory that was necessary for this team for a couple reasons. Let me break it down for you guys. Xabi Alonso, during the middle of the week, there were a lot of rumors going around saying that he needed to win, and he needed to win bad because he was in the hot seat with the board over at Madrid. Me personally, is a little premature, but it did kind of feel like there was some sort of energy around it. I even texted in the group chat after the Manchester City game. Was like, I don't think he's got too much time left. But I feel like this Alvesis game kind of put it back into perspective for people, especially myself. And I realized maybe I was being a prisoner of the moment. He has Kylian Mbappe on that team. For all it's worth, and for everything that's said about Kylian Mbappe, when he's on, he's on. And right now, in these past couple weeks, he's been on. And he's saving, and he's scoring every goal you need him to score at this point. I don't think it would be wise for Madrid to even consider getting rid of Xabi Alonso this early, simply off of that fact. Like look at what Mbappe is doing when he's hot. With that being said, look at the rest of the team you have behind Mbappe. You have so many other guys who can do those very same things. So this whole Real Madrid putting Xabi Alonso in the hot seat, to me, just, if they did that, it wouldn't be unheard of for them to get rid of somebody so quick and fast. It's Real Madrid, next man. It's a very much a next man system with the managers as well. But you don't do that this early with this roster and these guys. And I really feel like I can only say this. I'm trying to say this so that you don't get sucked into the legacy media rabbit hole that I got sucked into, thinking that this guy was going to be gone if he lost Alvesis in Man City. We got to give these guys some time.
Yeah, you got to give them time, man. Like, this is it's a new roster to him. It's not his roster. He didn't put it together for the most part. So like, you gotta more or less be patient. I know that's not a word that Real Madrid is used to, patience, but you gotta be patient. Give this man some time. Yeah, it's hard to be a manager that loses consistently when you have Kylian Mbappe on your team, though.
Yeah, I'm saying.
yeah. And also, I think Vinny played very well on the wing this game.
He did.
I was watching him play, and he seemed very very selfless.
He did.
Now it could be one of those games where it's like selfless, and now I want mine for the next 10 games.
That could very well be true. Rodrigo also played well too.
He also played well.
And that's the other portion of it is like, I want to talk about that part too. This is a little quick sidebar. We were talking about Rodrigo where's Rodrigo? He hasn't played. He's not doing this, that, the other. But this is what I say. This is what I mean when I say it's Real Madrid. Rodrigo's on the bench, but he's a starter everywhere else in the world. Yep. He's just getting on the field just now, and he's got 2 goals in 2 games that quick. That quick is how quick it is for him. That's just what a way of quantifying how deep this Madrid team is. Yeah. And why it would be kind of foolish to fire a coach this quick. Like, come on. The season is still very much salvageable. There's nothing to worry. It's not even as bad as the City skid or the Liverpool skid for that matter. But we're already talking about getting rid of Xabi Alonso. Come on, guys.
Yeah, come on.
Mind you, this is also the guy who turned Bayer Leverkusen around.
Right, exactly. And they didn't hire him to be like a bridge manager. You know, they hired him to be that guy.
Exactly. And I it's like talking about it out loud kind of makes me almost embarrassed to the fact that I kind of thought he was going to get fired by the end of this week.
Right.
Because I'm like, no, like it would be kind of foolish for them to do that now. Like, just like in general, it'd just be really, really foolish to just say, you know, we lost 2 games in a row. Let's get rid of this guy. No, that's not the way. And if we learn anything from Mikel Arteta, it's very much that is just not the way.
Very much not the way. Yeah. I think if they also Jude played well.
Player of the game. He was a player of the game for me. Like Jude Bellingham was running. I mean, a lot of people like to call Jude Bellingham performative when he does things, especially on and off the field. But I feel like it's just who he is as a guy. Like where he's like. I saw at one point towards the end of the game, there was 2, like, Alves scored and they were threatening to score again and equalize. He's sprinting full field to block on the defensive third to block the pass to get you can't pay for that. You can't teach that. That's somebody who wants it.
Yep.
He would be a Ballon d'Or candidate on any other team, but this team is not. He will never win a Ballon d'Or for this team while he's playing for this team. He's just too many people.
Interesting.
It's just like,
look and think about not with Mbappe on the team.
Well, okay, a couple parts. Not with Mbappe or Vinny, because Vinny, I think you got to give Vinny a Ballon d'Or before you give Bellingham a Ballon d'Or. It just off ability, off dynamic, like seeing these guys play on the field. If you're gonna give some Madrid players Ballon d'Ors, it goes in order of Kylian Mbappe, Vinny. There might be maybe one. No, I'll get
Valverde.
I don't know. I think I'll put Bellingham third, but that's just to quantify again how deep this team is, and it's like you can't replicate that overnight. Like, give it a chance. Find the winning combinations of players. Arda Güler is also still a very talented player that's also getting on the. There's so much for this team. The future looks so bright. I don't know why anybody like. Getting back to firing Xabi Alonso just doesn't make sense. This game showed us it doesn't make sense, and I really feel like we just need to cool the jets on these types of conversations before we start losing our minds. You know,
no,
I know. In the era of clickbait, saying this coach is on the hot seat is sexy and it's appealing to people, but nah, not Xabi Alonso. Not a Madrid great. Bayern Munich party spoiler. Like, come on. Nah.
Yeah. No, I don't believe it. And there was also a ghost sighting. Well, look, I'm gonna be honest. I had no idea Brahim Diaz was still on the team, dog.
I'd be every time he pops up, I'm like, oh yeah. He is out there.
Bro, I thought he was playing in like Colombia somewhere, bro. I had no idea.
It's two players. It's two players. Every time I see them, I'm pleasantly surprised. Him and Isco. And every time you see him in Syria, every time you see him in La Liga, it's like Isco's out. Oh snap, Isco's out.
He's still playing.
He's still out there. Go ahead, Isco.
That's funny.
But just to keep on the Madrid train before we call this podcast a day. Da'vion Kimbrough of Sacramento Republic is now on the radar of Real Madrid. What do you think of that? 15 years old, American soccer player, pro right now. I don't know how it would work if he was to go over there, if they would put him in the academy, or if he would just. I mean, I think they put him in the academy. I don't think they throw him out there with grown men, but
no. I think he'd go straight to the under-18 team, or probably the under-17s, or But yeah, I think it's for the U.S. It's a good look, because there's clearly talent over here, and when you see a Madrid scout come over here and find talent for that team, there's going to be more people coming over. So I think it's only a good thing, really, in terms of like exposure. But that being said, we don't really know much about this kid yet. What does he do for that team? What's he like?
Yeah, the very surface level research I've done on him, there's not a lot that I've seen. I've only seen a couple of stats, 6 appearances. I haven't seen any goals or anything, but it's hard to get the stats for the USL because they don't really necessarily update them all the time or update them accurately on my end, at least. But I don't know. It's one of those. I'm not. If I'm not mistaken, I think Madrid has a couple American players already, so I'm pretty sure they're already recruiting. They have a couple American academy players, not anybody on the first team, but I think this just might be a portion of their. We're just going to try and see what we can. We're going to throw a couple things at the wall and see what sticks. So I don't know if I necessarily think this is for Kimbrough. I don't think this is something that's saying, okay, this is our next guy. I don't want to jump the gun on that because I've seen this story a couple of times before with youth soccer players here in America going over there. It's like we hear somebody goes over to this club and then we never hear from them again.
Yep.
It's 100 of them that go over to the that go over to England and disappear. I was following a goalkeeper at one point that just at this point he's got to be in his 20s, and I haven't heard a thing from him in the pros. So it's one of those things where you really gotta again, I think basically this whole episode is just about keeping those expectations even keel. And this is one of those situations where I want to keep it even keel because I don't want as an American U.S. men's national team fan to think, okay, we got another Freddie Adu, we're ready, we got another guy. So yeah,
I think if I'm him, if I'm the what's his name again?
Da'vion Kimbrough.
If I'm him, if I hear that, I'm like, no, we getting back in the lab. Like we gotta work out, we gotta train. I'm doing everything I can to put myself in a better position to, if I'm being scouted to try and sign a contract with Real Madrid.
Yeah.
So.
And I mean, it's one of those things where you shoot for the stars, you fall on the moon, or what's the saying? Aim for the stars, fall on the moon.
Something like that, yeah.
Shoot for the stars, aim for the moon. You might not you might not end up at Real Madrid, but you could end up at
could have been Man U.
Yeah, Man U or City or else Aston Villa. You could end up somewhere. Yeah, so there's always potential. There's always potential to be great off of just getting those looks in the initial. Like even Christian Pulisic when he was coming up, I think he got looks from a couple other teams before he actually ended up where he was. But it's just one of those things. It's about getting that experience and learning and growing from it.
Yeah. Smells like Endrick to me.
Nah, Endrick. Leave Endrick alone. And come the January transfer window, we're going to be talking about Endrick in a whole new light when he's in League On.
Yeah, he'll be on the left side of the bench soon, right?
But I mean, he's a cautionary tale, right? I mean,
yeah.
You get to Real Madrid. That doesn't necessarily mean you got it. You won. You still have to work. Mm-hmm. So maybe, just hypothetically speaking, from somebody who's looking at an American going to a team like Real Madrid, maybe that's not the best look for him, even if it does work out. Think about like how Christian Pulisic worked out for like how Christian Pulisic went to Chelsea. Granted, it was a different situation. He didn't go straight from being a 15-year-old kid to Chelsea.
Right.
It was still a big jump for him, even at the time he did it. So for Kimbrough, who knows? But we'll see, because this could all just be fluff and talk, and nothing could come of it. So,
I want to see it happen. I would love to see it happen.
So I'm indifferent about it. I'm glad you said that. I don't know if I want to see it happen. I think it's in the best interest of somebody from this country to play soccer up until they're an adult in this country. I think the MLS is the right way to go. I think he's doing the right thing by playing for the USL, but I think the next obvious step for him should be the MLS. Play with the best of the best in America, then go over there. I've always been one of those guys where it's like, I look at how you develop as a player in America should be based on how they do it in Brazil. They start in Brazil, they leave pretty quick early on like 18s, 19s, 20s, and then they head over to Europe, play their careers in Europe, and they come back, finish out a year or two in America. I think that's the best way to do it, because you learn the game, you're home, you're in familiar territory. Because when you throw somebody out in another country, you fish out, it's a whole nother life, and that kind of plays into how you grow, you develop as a player too. So I feel like for a 15-year-old kids, I mean, granted, it's a common occurrence. It's just a tough adjust. So
it is.
Keeping him in America, and especially for an American, like, let's just think about it. Like, these guys are all in Europe. Europe is kind of like, things are different, but everybody's kind of unilateral over there. Like, cultures are cultures, but they all kind of mingle. American culture and European culture are two different things. So having there's different outlets over there. It's just too much of a culture shock, and I think that can affect his play. So in a dream world, I think I would like for Da'vion Kimbrough to stay right where he is in California, go play for the LA Galaxy, go play for LAFC, and then he'll head over to Europe.
Yeah, it's kind of like a free, not really free, but it's kind of like a free loan spell, right? The longer they stay, or if they, so it's like for example, last year Newcastle was scouting Malik Chow, which we ended up signing this year, but he was at AC Milan. So if he wanted to sign him last year, but he didn't, so it's kind of like, oh, we bought him, but we sent him out on loan a little bit, so he got another year under his belt. To progress and get better. So it's kind of like, if that makes sense, it seems like a free loan spell. The longer they stay, if he does go to the MLS, get his
and trust me, I'm not against them doing how they were doing Kayvon Sullivan, where you sign him, but he stays right there in Philadelphia until he grows. But sometimes the kids get pulled and they go over there and they're just over there. So we'll see how it works out. But I don't know.
Sidebar, he's him too. He got that mentality.
Sullivan, yeah. Oh yeah, I mean, we'll definitely get an opportunity to talk about him. I think soon. And, he might be one of those. He might be one of those guys.
Yeah,
but that's for another episode. This has been episode 6 of World Soccer Daily, an Arc Soccer Collective original. You can follow us everywhere at Arc Soccer Collective. We'll see you guys again on, what's today? Monday, Tuesday or Wednesday. We'll see you guys again. We'll catch you up on some midweek soccer stuff, and then until then, take care.
Peace.